Hey, Sir Bobby Bob, how's it going? I figured I had a little bit of time to start stream, so I ended up starting it, but I had to make a little bit of food, since I really haven't eaten that much today. So I figured this would be good as much time to shoot the shit with you guys while I eat my last bunch of fries. How you all been doing? I've been pretty good myself. You guys got any stories? I managed to, me and one of my friends, of course with an entire group of people, managed to finally beat, actually beat Naxxramas in Classic World of Warcraft. So technically, that is the end of Classic. I finally got to experience everything. Although there was an entire new raid added in a Turtle WoW, but that's going to be something I have to complete another time. So it was good to finally go and beat Kel'Thuzad. It's been a fun journey. Especially since we actually one-shot 4 horsemen. Everybody had their flasks and everything, so we were able to handle it. It was really enjoyable. Especially since the rest of it wasn't too difficult. Well, I got another couple 4 fries with me, so if you guys got anything else. But Halloween's coming up soon, so we're gonna continue a little bit more Paranormasight since I ended up finishing The Beast Within the Gabriel Knight story. And then tomorrow, and Monday or Thursday, since I don't think it's that long, I'm going to play Hollow Body. It's apparently only about between 5 and 8 hours, so I should be able to take it out in 2 streams if I'm not trying to 100% everything. And that would be a good final game right before Halloween. I don't know if I'll actually be streaming on Halloween like I was last year, when I ended up finishing, oh god, the game where you're playing the robot lady on the space rock. I forget that game was called. It was enjoyable though. Signalis. It was called Signalis. So I ended up finishing that game on Halloween last year while I was like really running out, pausing the game, running out, giving kids some candy, running back to my seat. I don't know if I'll be doing that this year though. Okay. Last fry down the hatch, can get a drink. Let's get the game all started. Alright, so last time when we left off of Paranormasight, or I guess if you want a general overview, we are in a specific section of Japan, and there happens to have been an awakening of multiple curses that are all based on local legends, even though a lot of the local legends are kind of correct, but very far off what the actual original story was. But each of those stories has a curse connected to it. And there's a lot of people around town who have received these curses. And if they are managed to get people to fall to the conditions of their curse, they can kill them and absorb their souls. Or if they absorb enough souls, they get to resurrect one person of their choice. The right of resurrection. However, killing other people with curses gives them more soul energy than just killing random people. So not only are you encouraged to kill, but you're also encouraged to kill other people. We've had a couple people shown this at this point in time. We have a girl who is wrapped up in supernatural, who is meeting a guy on a pseudo date to look for more of these 7 mysteries. And on that day, the 7 mysteries happen to spawn. She got one of those curses and was instantly killed by someone else. The person she was going out with picked up this curse and proceeded to kill almost every other curse bearer until the game told me, fuck off, nope, get out of here. Go pick the worst route. So we then picked the worst route, where we forced her away so she didn't die, and our character died instead. We then picked up with 3 other characters. An older lady whose son had been murdered. We met up with a current elderly cop who's working with a young partner, and that elderly cop ends up being part of the Paranormal Investigations Bureau, and a schoolgirl who is currently working with an apprentice of a paranormal expert, trying to figure out why her friend killed herself recently. Each of the stories are starting to intertwine and assumably are going to collide with each other. And who knows if there's other routes to go for. So we're going to pick right up where we left off with the schoolgirls. So we ended up going into the school to do a ritual, which is basically a Ouija board. We ended up contacting the ghost of her friend. Her friend, assumably the ghost of her friend, but the ghost told us that her friend did not kill herself, but she was murdered. It was at that time that the rite of resurrection happened, and she got her curse. Also, weird shit started happening in the school. Assumably, an old serial killer from 20 years ago is back, and assumably, from what I'm guessing, might be the janitor. But things started going weird, and if we did things wrong, the occult studies girl here on our left would have died. However, we did things correctly where she did not die, and we met up with the next day. We met up with a troubled student, which is the one in front of us, who was acting way weirder than she should have. The assumption is the way she was acting weird was in connection to being possessed. And now we have questions for her about our friend's death and assumably murder. Did you hear about Mr. Jonichi? Heard about it? I've known about it since last night. I saw that asshole bite it in the school grounds myself. Wait, no. Yakko is the Valley Girl accent. Yeah. What? You saw it happen? Tell us about it. What happened exactly? I don't really know myself. It was pitch black. What can I tell you? It was almost dawn, probably around 3. He started freaking out all of a sudden, ran out on the ground like something was chasing him, then screamed. And Jonichi is a teacher working at the school who went to the elderly cop and his partner and told them, hey, no, he went to the private detective that's working with the mother whose child was kidnapped and murdered, and said, hey, this schoolgirl is trying to kill me. Please help me. The private detective shrugged him off. And we also found out that the schoolgirl who was harassing him was the dead girl who is assumably murdered, Yakko's friend. I know I'm calling her Yakko, but you know, Wacko and Dot haven't shown up yet, so we'll just call her Yakko. And however, the girl he said who was trying to kill him is assumably already dead. And now he ended up dead last night. Dun, dun, dun. He started freaking out all of a sudden, ran out on the ground like something was chasing him, then screamed. Somebody help me. Forgive me, Michio. Or something like that while he was running around. Michio? He mentioned Michio? Was there anyone else on the grounds? It was too dark to see where I was. But for a second, I thought I saw a girl in a school uniform with her hair in braids. Oh. I don't go out to make sure, but it could have been nothing for all I know. Then I heard him begging for his life like, I was wrong, and I'll do anything. Then all of a sudden, his arms and legs snapped, even though he was just standing there. His arms and legs broke without anything being done to him? He fell over and quit moving, so I thought I'd better get out of there. Then he croaked. That's all I saw. I see. But from what you've told us, it almost sounds like Michio's ghost chased down Mr. Jonichi and killed him. Hell if I know anything about that. I'm just telling you what I heard him say. Did you tell that story to the police? Nope, and I ain't gonna. Can't count on them for shit. Not like they believe such an insane story anyways. Right. But there must be at least one person in the police worth trusting, right? Yeah, I guess. There's this one cop who always got on my case about stuff. But he died just the other day. Yep. He was the one who, the younger partner of the older cop, was murdered out in the park. They were inspecting the area in which he died. He was a delinquent himself, but he ended up working with other delinquents in schools. Pretty much everybody liked him, but somehow he was still killed in a mysterious fashion. But he died just the other day. Oh, he did? I'm sorry to hear that. Everyone who gets involved with me ends up dead. Maybe I really am cursed. Pisses me off. You've got it all wrong. The spirit that possessed you wasn't that kind of spirit. Huh? It wasn't? Yeah, it was just an unfortunate coincidence. Though I'm sure this was hard enough for you. That's all I know about that asshole's death. Hey, Mio, I've been thinking about something. Huh? The way she described it reminded me of something. The way Mr. Jonichi died sounds a lot like how Michio died. Of course, I didn't see it myself, but the state of Michio's body was in, it was like she had fallen from high up. Could they have been killed in the same curse? I don't think so. The curses of the 7 mysteries hadn't manifested when she died. And if we can trust what the spirit board said, Michio died in an accident. Oh, right. That's all I know about the asshole's death. So that's why you two did the, so that's why you do the job you do, huh, Mio? I thought she was a weirdo when she showed up all of a sudden saying she was going to exorcise me. But you hadn't said anything, I probably would have knocked your lights out. You tried to perform an exorcism on her without telling her anything? You see, in my experience, most people don't understand, no matter how much I explain. They only accept my explanation after they've seen the results. Huh, I guess that makes sense. Tomi, last night, before you witnessed Mr. Jonichi collapse, can I ask you what he and you were doing in the classroom? You're gonna tell the cops. Oh, right. With everything that happened with Mr. Jonichi? They'll suspect you if you told them we saw you with him last night. Anytime something happens with someone like me, those shitty adults start jumping to conclusions. I understand. I won't tell them. You wouldn't have been able to kill him anyway. If you say so, then I won't mind telling you about it. So, last night, that piece of shit Jonichi called me over here, acting like he was gonna attack me or something. What? How terrible! Whatever, I'm glad he's dead. He had it coming. Calling people worthless and a cancer in society when he doesn't know shit about them. The asshole was the one who always acting like scum, if you ask me. Is that so? Could you tell us more in detail why he called you out in the middle of the night? It's hard to explain. Where to start? It's hard to explain where to start. Oh, okay. This is the starting. That's not okay. What did you mean by Mr. Jonichi's acting like scum? Was he doing something bad? You know Michio Siragashi, right? The girl who killed herself? Huh? Michio? I don't know. Everything but that creep of a teacher had some dirt on her. And he was always using it to blackmail her, call her up after school, and make her do whatever he wanted. What? What do you mean when you say whatever he wanted? I'll leave it to your imagination. Nothing that a couple model students like you would ever get involved in. No way. That's how? What do you mean by dirt? I don't know anything about this. How could I not have known about this? Yako, I know how you feel, but try to calm down. You got guts acting like you were her friend. Junichi really did a number on both Michio's body and soul. She probably felt she couldn't tell anyone, like she had to suffer alone. No, how terrible. Hitomi, how do you know about this? I just happened to walk in on it. I know the spots around school people go to when they want to stay out of sight. He ran off in a panic when I yelled at him, asking what he was doing. Walked in on it? I couldn't just leave her alone looking like she was about to cry, so I stuck around a bit. She told me everything that happened in whispers. She probably figured I wasn't the type to spread that stuff around. But she never asked for my help. She told me that she was fine and to keep it a secret. Michio, why? She probably thought she just had to grit her teeth until it was all through. She was naive. I tried to tell her that if you give guys like that an inch, they'll take a mile. She kept saying about how it was her punishment. She was soft. No. Of course, Jonichi didn't change. He kept on doing what he was doing. I don't understand either of them, but that's as much as I was involved. And when she killed herself, nothing I could do about it now. Hitomi, if you knew about it, then why didn't you? You trying to say it's my fault? She told me not to say anything. She told me she was fine. So what the hell more responsibility do I have other than what I already did? Yako, there's no point blaming Hitomi. Michio, why? Did you hear what the dirt was? Nope, never heard what it was. But from the sound of it, he'd been blackmailing her since about a year ago. For that long? The dick probably caught her doing something she shouldn't have been. She looked well behaved, but that's more of a person that meets the eye, you know? There must be some reason. Dunno. Got nothing to do with me. So, last night, how did it start? Ah, right. Remember that nosy cop I mentioned who was always on my case? He died at the former Yasada Gardens a couple days ago. Yoshimi was his name. He was part of a juvenile division. He didn't look like a cop at all. Real tough guy, but good at looking out for folks. So he was the only one I could talk to. Huh. So there was someone like that with the police. Too bad he ended up dying. Oh, another thing. One time he suddenly introduced his fiancée to me. It was hilarious seeing a big guy like that act like a shy little kid all of a sudden. She told me that she was like me when she was my age and that she was on my side. It must have been a terrible loss for her too. Yeah, I do feel a little bad for her when I think about how she must be. And I saw him at the gardens the night he died. Oh no. Whenever I would get worked up over something, Yoshimi always took me straight to that park. When he'd listen to whatever it was I was pissed off about. That day he called me over there like usual. But something seemed off about him. Like he was worried about something. Worried about something? Yeah, he asked me for a favor, too. That was pretty unusual. A favor? What kind of favor? He handed me a weird talisman, asked me to hold on to it for him. A talisman? Yeah, just a normal good luck charm. Figured that's what it, figured if that's it, then sure, I'll take it. I have it with me now. But that wasn't all. When he told me that he wanted to look for a talisman, Michio Shirasashi had that looked like this one. Huh? Michio? Why does she have to do with this? Yoshimi had been meeting up and talking with her. While they were together, he noticed that she had a special talisman or something. But apparently Michio always avoided the subject. A talisman that Michio had? He knew that I knew her, and that's why he asked me. He said, "Could there have been something that Michio couldn't tell even the police about?" I know things at home were a little complicated. From what I heard, Michio was keeping her mouth shut about what Jonichi was doing to her. Hard to talk with the cops when someone's got dirt on you. And I didn't squeal or anything about Michio either. Michio, what is it that had such a strong grip on you? So, basically, Yoshimi didn't just have his eye on Michio, but her talisman too. But after she died, he didn't know where it ended up. So, since I knew her from school, he wanted me to look into it for him. Is there something special about the two talismans? I wonder why he gave it to you. Hell if I know. When I looked inside, there's just a weird kind of grimy scrap of wood. So you've seen inside it? But from the way he was acting, it seemed important to him somehow. But to be honest, that he was asking is such a pain in the ass, I figured he had to be serious about it. Oh, and since he died right after that. Yeah, he even said to me, if anything happens to me, take those two talismans. Give them to a guy named Nakagoshi at the police department. Knowing what I know now, I probably felt that something was gonna happen to him. Nakagoshi? Huh? Do you know him, Mio? No, I've just heard the name, I think. So, there really is a Nakagoshi? Nakagoshi? That's a relief at least. Anyway, it didn't feel right just ignoring the dead guy's last request. Hitomi? Yeah? That talisman. Would you mind if I had a look at it? Sorry, but I don't trust you at all that much yet. It's important to me. Oh, okay. So, last night you were looking for the talisman Michio had? Yeah. And I figured that piece of garbage teacher would know the most about Michio. I asked him yesterday afternoon if he knew anything about her talisman. He gave me some cryptic response like, I can't talk about it right now. Come to the school tonight. He even gave me the code to the lock on the back entrance. He seemed pretty willing to give it out, so I wouldn't be surprised if he used it for secret meetings before. Yuck. I can only imagine. We climbed over the front gate to get in. So, yeah, we meet up in the classroom in the middle of the night, but nothing he said made any sense. Like he was really Michio and stuff like that. I was really Michio and stuff like that. He went on about it, how it was my fault, and that if only he hadn't been around or something. He grabbed a hold of me, breathing heavily. Hey, were you okay? Yeah, that's when you two showed up. I was able to get away while Junichi was freaking out. Oh my gosh, good thing you got away. So it's really all thanks to you two that I got away. But I didn't get any info about the talisman, so the whole thing was sort of a bust. Afterward, I was wondering what you two were up to, so I hid nearby. When I saw you and the old man, Ashimiya talking, and then Mio showed up. Oh, you did? That's also why I saw Junichi come back outside and bite it. I see. So you were only here to look for Michio's talisman? I was dumb to fall for that creep Junichi's trap so easily. I could have gone a lot worse, but I lucked out. What you described does sound like Michio killed Mr. Junichi. She did have a reason to hate him after all. No way. You mean like it was a ghost? Like for real? Those who die bearing strong resentment and regret can occasionally become spirits, either bound to a place or roaming freely. However, it'd usually be impossible for them to kill the living. Most don't have that kind of power. But it's possible they could possess someone close to them and act on those lingering regrets. Huh? What if that's what's happening? Alright, then supposing what the spirit board said is true and Michio's death was an accident, then she must have had some regrets. If she really hadn't given up on living, that's it. I don't think she was that kind of girl who would just give up no matter the situation. I don't really know, but She didn't seem like she had something tormenting her so much that she'd kill herself. And that's all I know. Happy? I still gotta look for the talisman.
Sure. Thank you, Hitomi.
Oh, if you two find out anything about Michio's talisman,
we'll be sure to let you know.
Thanks.
Oh, can we get your contact info? Where we can normally find you?
Right. I'm not home most of the time. Usually at a friend's place. Here's the phone number.
Thanks. We'll call her if we need to talk with you. And,
What is it?
you're easier to talk to than I imagined. I was kind of scared at first, but not anymore.
Shut up. You were the one avoiding me. Anyway, catch you later. Don't die out there, okay?
Thanks. We'll be careful. Alright then. We got a lot of new information. Sounds like Mr. Joinichi was killed by a curse, just as we thought. Which means there was a curse bearer at the school. Multiple, in fact. Multiple? You think so? Yes. The curse echo we experienced in the school and the one that killed Mr. Joinichi seemed to be different. The people in the school at the time other than us were Mr. Joinichi, Hitomi, and Old Man Ashimiya, who you ran into. I was thinking it would be among them, but no, instead it's among us. It's among us. But there was one more person. Hitomi saw a girl in a school uniform with braids. From what Hitomi was saying, it doesn't seem like she's one. Mr. Joinichi is pretty suspicious, though. If he were a curse bearer, it would certainly explain why he was killed. Right. That's why I say there are multiple. Oh, right. The person who killed Mr. Joinichi would have had to be one, too. Which means it must be either the mysterious girl or Old Man Ashimiya. Yeah, we should certainly be careful of them. That said, the mysterious girl and the fact that Mr. Joinichi thought it was Michio that was attacking him has me wondering. Of course, I doubt Michio herself was actually there, but... Oh, I just remembered. I also saw Mr. Ariashi outside the main gate last night. You did? It's likely he's involved with the curses, given that he's the one been doing research on the rite of resurrection. So we'll have to be careful of Old Man Ashimiya and Mr. Arashi. I want to believe that not all curse bearers will be hostile, but... As for what to do now, I'd like to find who is responsible for the Feast of Shadows that set this all off, and how they did it. I don't think we'll be able to end this without stopping it at this source. Okay, so the other guy that they pointed out earlier, that wasn't the janitor, he in fact was a curse bearer, and might have even done, and I think he even did one of the killings. He definitely did a killing, because we encountered him as the police, where we managed to make him surrender his curse, because we were able to, we told him how our curse works, and that we can literally just kill you anytime because you've already lied to me. So hand it over, we won't kill you. So he handed it over, and it did have a soul drag in it, and that's what he lied to us about. So he did kill somebody with it. So there definitely was a killer here. So it might have been him who did one of those killings around here. Although I still think it's going to be the janitor, because I think the janitor is the serial killer from 20 years ago. But that's to be seen. But yeah, so so that guy who did all the research on the curses and then got the curse himself, the cops have that. So he was a curse bearer. I don't think we'll be able to end this without stopping at its source. Huh, that makes sense. In which case, next, we should do... What exactly? We'll need to talk with Mr. Arashi. He definitely knows something. It should be safer during the day, so I think we should try to look for him. Got it. I'll help in any way I can. But the school's closed. I wonder where he could be. Let's try heading someplace someone may know where he is. Where'd it go then?
Okay, the gardens, the candy shop, the high school, and the bridge. And then there's another bridge. Let's go to the candy shop. And so, Mio Kurizuzu and Yako Sakazaki decided on their next location to investigate. Aha, okay. And no more continuing from there. So, there's several... So these are the story branches so far. You've got the mother, the detective, and the student. There is a section here where assumably... There is one here. There's a dead end where we die because we are killed by a curse bearer. My assumption is once we figure out how to get around that curse bearer, we can get this branch where we're in there and thwart them killing us. Just like there's a couple of curse bearers that we were able to play with the settings in the game to get around. Maybe there's other setting choices that can do it. Or if you just need to find out the information first to then be able to do it in the thing. So far, it hasn't done anything that's been fourth wall breaking like that yet, but it could still happen at any time. And we're still not doing anything with the mother. And this one's ending here until we can continue. So, back to the cops. Hajime Yoshimi's death, Najima's threat of mass murder, the problems that just pile up, putting the detective's goal of collecting all the curse stones in jeopardy. Tatsumi leaves Ero to handle the investigation while he catches a quick break. Sorry for the wait, boss, but I managed to gather some information. Took you long enough. Hey, Mockingbird. The Swanelope Swoost. Okay, I need to know. Is there a description of why it looks like that? Because, like, that's like the standard delinquent. That's one of the bikers. That also has got the pompadour and it's like he's smoking with the pelican. But I assume this is just I guess like the delinquent delinquent schoolgirl. I guess has the fucking giant perm. It's wild. Forensics had finished their investigation, and the body's been carried away. That said, we're still closing the park to the public, at least for the time being. This place was really giving me the creeps last night, but it looks pretty normal now with the sun out. Well, we got ourselves quite the mess. Strange deaths popping up all over the place that may or may not have something to do with the curses. We also need to keep looking for Yoshimi and Najima. For now, we better start following up on the last leads we got, on the few leads we got. Guess I better see what Arrow's found. He's been up all night gathering information. Might be nice to be young and have that kind of energy, but I'm glad I have him on my side. It gave me a chance to rest up. Things at the station were pretty hectic, but I managed to get some info. Let me fill you in. Thanks. The floor is yours. A total of 3 mysterious deaths were confirmed in the area, including the ones in this park. So let's start with that one. The young man we found here. He's been identified as Shogo Oki, 25 years old, a regular old office worker who worked around here. He died of asphyxiation. He died of asphyxiation. There we go. Due to the water in his lungs. He drowned. He drowned in the middle of the park?
That's not possible. Gotta be a curse we're dealing with here. About that, boss. Isn't this park associated with one of those 7 mysteries, too? Oh, God. Yeah, the canal. The canal, yeah. I think. I'm pretty sure. That's right, the Whispering Canal. It does seem like there'd be a link between a canal and a death by drowning, don't you think? Sharp thinking, Arrow. You're starting to get the hang of this. So, let me assume they're related. What's next? Before that, the body of a woman was found behind a residential complex in Kamizawa. The victim had been identified as Towako Hayashi, 29 years old. She was an office worker who lived on her own right in the area. As for the cause of death, well, yeah. The entirety of her body was crushed by some kind of strong external force. No murder weapon was discovered in the area, but considering the way she was found, we were looking for something large, flat, and heavy that could have crushed her in one fell swoop. Hang on, are you saying she was stepped on? Meaning, oh yeah, foot washing man. Oh good, it's the foot washing mansion. The foot washing mansion? Exactly. Crushing is the foot washing mansion's modus operandi. The place where the body was discovered is also known to be related with the 7 mysteries. Then this is Namagaki's doing. Shit, I knew he'd used it. Judging by the amount of soul dregs, the victim was just a regular person, not a curse bearer. Guess we should report this to Paranormal Affairs. Got it. And as for the 3rd victim, he was identified as Kohei Jonichi, 32, a teacher at Komagata High. He was found in the school's courtyard. Cause of death appears to be external trauma from a heavy fall or blow. The impact crushed his arms and legs. Since he was found in the middle of the courtyard, he couldn't have fallen from the gymnasium or the main building. A teacher dying at school? And that's just not any school. Komagata houses one of the 7 mysteries. Oh god. This one I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember this one. I was just doing the 2 girls too. It's one of these. It's not the clappers. The mystery. Okay, hold up. I got this easy. We'll just do persons of interest. Oh yeah, I gotta do this one with the mouse, otherwise it plays around. Yako. Yako has... It doesn't say. Alright, hold on. If that's not it, then we're gonna have to go back to the files. 7 mysteries. No, okay, we haven't met that one yet. It has to do with false statements. That's the one that we have. That's the one the cop has. Yeah, fire. That's the one that the mother has. This one, the Fool's Procession. This is the one that Yako got. And we were pointing it out, like, out of all the curses, this one really sucks. So it kills by fatal fall one who hears the music for 30 seconds without seeing the curse bearer. So not only do they have to hear it, but they also have to not see you for 30 whole seconds to die. And the funny thing is, it says it kills by a fatal fall, and we keep saying that people keep dying by that. And that's assumably the one that Yako's got. Unless I'm thinking of a wrong one, there's another one that has to be listened to. I know there is another one that needs to be listened to. Yeah, so... Okay, and the fact that the first victim died by drowning, which is the Whispering Canal. The Whispering is the canal is the one that we got off of the girl that he was going on the pseudo date with looking for the mysteries after she was murdered. So she was killed. So she did have this, and it did trigger on him.
Unless someone killed her later and came back for him afterwards, but... So even though he put her in the cab and told her to leave, she still used it to kill him. Although, when we played his story, it always triggered whether we activated it or not. So maybe this one literally just kills no matter what. But no, I'm thinking it's, and it's not Haunting Clappers. And not the one-sided read. Yeah, okay. So it's, the Fool's Procession. Right, it's where the Fool's Procession is supposed to be. It's too big of a coincidence. But can't rule out the possibility that this death was also the work of a curse. I see. Either way, it seems that all 3 victims can be tied to the 7 mysteries. There's probably a cursed bear at the center of all of it, pulling the strings. But you got a point. All these strange deaths do point in one direction. That's right. And Hajime's cases wasn't all that different either. He also died of mysterious causes in a place connected to the 7 mysteries. Problem is that the timing doesn't match up. He died before the curses were activated. Could he have been hit by a different curse? One that didn't have anything to do with the 7 mysteries? That's a thought, but... if that were the case, we'd be dealing with a powerful practitioner. One who could pull off a curse like that without using a curse stone. There aren't many people in this day and age who could do something like that. Oh, really? I see. I don't know too much about that stuff. I'd be more surprised if you did. Guess I better see what Arrow's found out. Well, looking at these deaths, it seems like many of the curse bearers acted last night. But we can't rule out that there were more killings for which the bodies haven't been found. Yikes, I hadn't thought about that. But there is one silver lining. Judging by my own curse stone, seems that the curses can't be activated while the sun's out. Oh, that's great news. So basically, we're safe during the daytime? Exactly. It's also likely why Najima gave us till dusk. Ah, he must have known the curse stones couldn't be used during the day. Either way, we got till nightfall to settle this. It's time we flushed out the other curse bearers. Aye, boss, let's do this. At the moment, we only know the identity of 4 curse bearers, you included. Yutaro Namagaki had the Foot Washing Mansion, and Hideki Arashi had the Ever-Burning Lantern. We got both of their curse stones. And then there's Najima, who claims he has the one-sided read. Yep, that about sums it up. Notes on known curse bearers. However, we have a bit more notes because we know who has it. Fool's Procession is in Yako's. The Haunting Clappers is Haraway. Evergreen Beach is Tetsuo. Taiko Tsuguru, we don't know. The Foot Washing Mansion was owned by Yutaro, but we got it. One-sided read, assumably is Najima, and the Ever-Burning Lantern is Tetsuo. And the Whispering Canal, assumably... assumably is... Why can't I look up... Culture and society. Where's the people of interest? There it is, person of interest. Assumably Yoko has it still. Because Yoko was the one that we did the prologue with. And she was murdered and dropped the drowning one. Which Shogo over here either dies instantly to, or literally goes on a rampage killing everybody to try to revive her. And they ended his story before we could do it, which we don't know if he died in that one, or if maybe it will start up a branch in that timeline where he's alive and does actually resurrect Yoko. And then if we find some information about her, like she lured us out there to kill, assumably. Maybe she knew it was coming.
when she has the haunting clappers. Which we do know that one. We better figure out who the remaining 5 are quick. How should we go about looking for them? There's no point in searching blindly without a lead. Let's focus on other things for now. Tracking down Najima may lead us to other curse bearers too. Either way, he should be our top priority. He could do some real damage if we don't get him. I also want to look a little more into Yoshimi. I got a feeling there's some connection there. Aye, boss. Sounds like we got our work cut out for us. I asked around Sumida's Community Safety Bureau where Yoshimi was stationed. It seems like he was investigating the apparent suicide of a girl named Michio Shirasashi. Ah, yeah, I heard about that. He was trying to determine whether it really was a suicide, looking to the height of the building and the force of impact, to wounds, all that. He must have suspected some kind of foul play, because he ordered a full investigation. But it had already been deemed a suicide, and his superiors told him not to go stirring things up. Huh. What was the evidence? Well, according to the police report I found on his desk last night, the body was found on the foot of a building way away from the road. There was no evidence of vehicular collision, so it was ruled a suicide, but he thought there was more to it. Yeah, a truck or other flat-faced vehicle traveling at high speeds could have inflicted similar damage. Truck-kun! Oh, it's fine. She just got isekai'd. Alright. Yeah, no, actually, you know what? We don't have to worry about it. It really was Truck-kun. Alright, cool. See, this is why her ghost was able to come. She's in another world doing whatever this particular weird isekai plot decided it wanted to be its gimmick. In other words, sometimes a traffic accident can look an awful lot like a fall. So there is a chance that it wasn't a suicide. But what a terrible way to go. There were no brake marks on the road, meaning it would have been hit and run. The vehicle would have hit her without slowing down at all. This has turned to be quite the grisly case. But the vehicle couldn't have come out from a collision like that unscathed. Exactly. So I asked the traffic bureau to keep an eye out for any vehicles with frontal damage. But I haven't heard anything back from them yet. I don't think they're looking very hard. So, we got no proof. That said, if it was a traffic accident rather than a suicide, it's possible that someone silenced Yoshimi because he was on the verge of discovering the truth. That's true. You think the driver is the one who did him in? Not quite. Yoshimi had already talked to the forensics and the traffic bureau, right? His death wouldn't have covered things up. You're right on that. Even if the suicide was a cover-up for a hit and run, it doesn't seem like enough reason to kill a cop. Huh. Oh, that's right. Unrelated, but I got something else too. I managed to get a hold of Michio Shirasashi's address. Yoshimi went there a bunch of times in the course of his investigation. Might be a good idea for us to drop by too. Good thinking. Hopefully that'll give us more leads. Alright, let's move on to the next topic. Remember the girl Yoshimi met the other day when he died? One Hitomi Yokuda? Community Safety didn't have any contact information on her on hand. Not even an address? Well, they had her parents' information, but when I called, they said they hadn't heard from her in a month. Lots of family issues, from the sounds of it. They even said they didn't want anything to do with her anymore. That said, she still goes to school once in a while, so we might be able to find her there. Not sure we really have time for a stakeout right now. But she could be a key witness. Can't we have Community Safety track her down for us? We can ask, but it might be tricky to get it done today. For starters, Komagata High School is closed. That today doesn't need to be there. Ah, because of the teacher that died? That's right. Alright. But if it's not some... Fuck. Wait, how do I... Shit. I mean... Okay, don't do that. It says she goes to school once in a while, something like there. Not sure we really have time for a sticker right now with Community Safety. Because the teacher that died, that's right.
Alright, but if something not we can do today, then we might have to forget about it. Let's move on then. Okay, he literally was just moving on from that one. I got some information about Yoshimi's fiance from community safety. Her name is Mayu Chozawa, 27 years old. She works at a beautician in the area. Look, I even managed to get a picture of her. She sure is a beauty. But, oh boy, here it comes. But what? Community safety hasn't been able to contact her since Yoshimi died. Not by phone or at her house. In other words, no response. Dead silence. There it is. Can't things just be easy for once? Is this the fiance? Huh? Wait, why did it tell me to... Wait, what? Oh, I had to click on that first. Okay. Mayu Chozawa. Mayu is a beautician and the fiance of Hajime Yoshimi, a police officer with the Sumida Police Department. Mayu's current whereabouts remain unknown. That's definitely starting to look like a suspect. A crime of passion, perhaps? It's fairly common for people to be killed by a lover or a spouse. But Yoshimi was well liked, and they've been together for over 10 years. You never know. Things could be different behind closed doors. I guess so. We have to consider the opposite scenario too. It could be the same person who was out for Yoshimi is after his fiancée as well. She could be in danger. She also probably has a curse trying to bring him back. You're right. Either way, she's important to the case. HQ already has people looking for her. We know well as soon as she's found. Fumachika Najima. HQ has mobilized a search for Najima, but so far we haven't received any word. Guessing he wasn't at home or at work. About that. Apparently, he vacated his last known address a week ago. Are you serious? So we have no idea where he lives? It gets worse. I checked in with the factory he was working at. They told me he was only there for a month before he quit. Hold on a second. You're telling me nobody caught that? Well, I had the same thought, so I spoke to his probation officer. Turns out he'd been doing house visits and interviews, but never bothered checking on his workplace. He also said he lost track of Najima when he moved to a new place. Jeez, that's just sloppy. I've heard that they've been giving parole just about anyone these days because they're running out of room in the prisons. Which also means there aren't enough probation officers to go around. Dude's probably overworked. So Najima got the fuck about unsupervised. God damn it. That asshole's annoying when we gotta fake remorse or insanity, whatever situation calls for. Back when I arrested him all those years ago, just talking to him left a bad taste in my mouth. He's probably hiding under a false name, which will make it hard to track him down. That'll explain why he so brazenly made contact. That asshole is mocking us. Well, for now, the paperwork will circulate his name and mugshot is being filed. That's gonna take way too long. We only have till dusk. Speaking of Najima, yeah? Did you manage to catch your daughter? It'd be best to put her into protective custody as soon as possible. Not yet. I can't reach her. They called, but she's not picking up. Wasn't home when they went to the house either. That's not good. Does that mean she never came home? And why weren't you the one trying to reach out to her? Shut up. I don't have the contact info, alright? Damn, she really doesn't trust you, huh? Either way, I told her mother it was an emergency and that we'd send an officer to go get her, and that we'll send an officer to find her and get her to safety. But she's real reluctant. But I got her to agree. Guess that explains why you two got divorced. But if you, her former father, can't find her, how the hell did Najima do it? Former, eh? That cuts deep. Sorry, just kind of slipped out. Anyway, I suspect it has something to do with his curse echo. Back on topic already, huh? He said his curse could kill a lot of people in a short time. It may even allow him to act from a distance. I see. The one-sided reed. What was that story about again? Something about a man stalking a woman who goes insane and chops her up? Alright. One of the more gruesome of the 7 mysteries. Nope. As for Najima's whereabouts, all we can do is throw more people at it till we find something. I'll check with HQ frequently to see if they've got any updates. And that's about it. Shall we continue our investigation? We could go to Kamagata High School and look at Hitomi Okuda, or meet you at Shirazashi's house to find out more about her. Yeah, the music kicks in again. Okay, I do like how this music sounds like it would be in like a spaghetti western or something like that. Or I guess this is probably maybe from it has something like this playing like a cop movie back in the era, back in the 60s and 70s. And also this sounds like a 70s grindhouse exploitation films going on. He's a cool cop in the paranormal detective division. That is something that I've watched a bit of, but not too much, of like old Japanese films, because some of them can be wild and pretty fucking awesome to watch. But I know there's a lot of other genres and other movies and stuff like that that I probably should just look up because it's in the more cool genres. Anyway, just like watching like old 40s noir films and stuff like that. It's really cool. 40s and 50s noir. There's a lot we need to do, not a lot we can do. This ain't looking good. We're gonna run out of time if we don't do something. Gotta keep moving. Okay. So this is still a dead end for now. Now we got 2 open. Let's swap back to these 2 since it's been a while. Actually, you know what? No. Let's stick with the cops. Fancy sushi. With dusk fast approaching, they have no time to waste. With that in mind, Tatsubi and Ero direct their investigation towards Kamagata High School and the Shirasashi residence. Go to the high school. Since we know we have a couple of our own other characters are at the high school now, so this might also open up paths for them. Those tunes are banging. Here we are, Kamagata High School. Classes are suspended for the day, so the students are just kind of wandering about aimlessly. Huh, is there something on my shirt? Don't tell me I stink. Kamagata High School's gymnasium also serves as a polling place and evacuation center. A lot of the buildings around here are still made of wood, but this place looks safe and sturdy. Yoshimi also looked out for these students as a Sumida city officer. Juvenile delinquency had been a growing problem for years now. The school is no exception. The midpoint of the Showa era saw a marked increase in delinquency among young people. A wave of violent incidents, targeting teachers as well as students and often involving weapons, consumed the nation's middle and high schools. Bozoku motorcycle gangs also enjoyed their heyday around this time. Japanese arrest rates reached a historical peak during this period, and pompadour Yankees and female sukuban delinquents became a common sight on the streets. This youth rebellion is also framed as a reaction to universal education policy or the pressure of highly competitive entrance exams, but its causes are likely manifold, extending far beyond the deficiencies of the education system. I mean, it probably also had to do with like it did definitely have to do with, you have to live up to these standards, and you have to do this and this and this, and only if you follow these will you get a good job, and then you'll work the rest of your life to just make enough money to survive. And the will to just like... Also, this was still, 20, 30 years after 2 atomic bombs in a world war? So, like, there's a lot of fucking... And also, Japan's basically being made America's bitch at this point, too. So, there's a whole lot of fucked up stuff there. Like, they're being made into the kind of like the Japan that we have today, where even now their suicide rates are stupid high for a lot of the same reasons. The school gate will stay locked while forensics inspects the scene of the incident. Looks like they're still busy. Let's talk to the person in charge later. The news of the dead teacher has also attracted a fair share of rubberneckers. The atmosphere is kind of tense with this many cops around. Any last minute? Delinquents? Birds? Meanwhile, I'm just trying to think of more reasons to keep staying around while the music plays. This place isn't only connected with the case because the students were under Yoshimi's jurisdiction. It's also the site of the Fool's Procession and of course, where that teacher was killed. Seems like a likely place to find some clues, don't you think? Speaking of thinking, ideally we could talk to someone who was involved in the incident. Easier said than done, though. Okay, maybe the person we're supposed to talk to isn't out here yet. Alright, speaking of which, what is it? You said Paranormal Affairs can't help us right now. So why don't we get that psychic high school you mentioned to help us? A lot of the new people involved in this case leave back at the school anyways, so it might make things easier to have them with us. For a guy who questioned me on the legality of working with them, it sure seemed eager to exploit underage labor. Hey, who said anything about exploiting them? I just want to give our young experts the opportunity to shine. Where'd you become such a smooth talker? Anyway, I'm afraid I don't know where they are. Oh, I see. I wonder if there's anyone who could help us scout out the area. And then instantly, poop, oh look, there they are. Oh look, they just finished talking to No, I guess if we go back to the timeline, they're talking and interviewing the one girl way before this. 9 a.m. A perfectly reasonable time for students to be at school. And yet, I doubt this will be that simple. I wonder if there's anyone who can help us scout out the area. Okay, so there's nothing here yet. We're gonna need more. Here's the Shirasashi household. It seems like Michio's house is at the end of this road. We don't want to intimidate them, so maybe I should go alone? The houses are really crammed together in these narrow alleyways. Strangers like us walking through definitely stand out. It really feels like old Tokyo. It's quiet. This place is normally pretty lively, full of people coming and going. But it seems like everyone's decided to stay inside because of the recent incidents. Aha! Mockingbird. Oh, there's your Yankee. There's an eagle with a mohawk. So, the Shirasashi household. There is a chance that Michio didn't actually kill herself. It might be for the best that we didn't find her parents. Arrow's checking out the Shirasashi house at the end of the road. These streets real narrow, so two big guys like us can stick out a pair of sore thumbs. Michio's checking Shirasashi household too. Okay. Alright, I'll go check out the house. So, Shirasashi household. The chance to meet you didn't. Okay, that's not it. Oh, you're back. No luck, boss. No one home? Doesn't look like it. I knocked for a while, but nobody came to the door. I glanced at the windows, but there was no sign of activity either. And I saw about 3 newspapers stuffed into the mailbox. Huh. Okay, suspend for later. You cannot currently progress any further. No.
Throughout the night, Richter continues to gather information about the curse stones, while Haraway lies awake until dawn, preoccupied by the prospect of bringing her lost child back to life. Shigima Mansion. I guess, or is it Shigamiya? Oh, fuck. Good morning, ma'am. How are you feeling? I'm fine. I hope we can make good progress today. How's your curse stone looking? There you go. How's your curse stone looking? I haven't felt anything from it since sunrise. Interesting. It's possible that the powers can only be unleashed at night then. That aside, why are you so late this morning? There are unfortunately some things that can't be investigated while the world slumbers. But I did get some research done while in limited time I had. Very well, let's talk. This is the old mansion where I was born and raised. The town is beginning to wake up once more. The clam of society can be heard from beyond the garden gates. Like any day, a cloud of pollution drifts out from the industrial area. No one's in the mansion at the moment. The door has been locked shut. The housekeeper has already left after cleaning and preparing the food. He's looking a bit tired. He must have been up all night investigating. By the way, there's something I wanted to talk to you about. And what's that? Our current plan is to steal the curse stone that's already absorbed soul dregs, but I'm wondering if it would suffice not to steal, but instead negotiate with the curse bearer, and have them use the right for our purposes. Huh? I mean, I suppose that would accomplish the same, but you think it's possible? As long as we offer a compensation, it may prove much easier than you expect. Compensation? Cash, for instance. That would be off the table for a family as rich as the Shigamiyas, wouldn't it? Of course. Why, any amount would be fine if it gets the job done. I wouldn't let monetary matters lead me to regrets the way it did back at the ransom. Okay, with that option on the table, let's figure out our strategy. I think it would be fucking hilarious if Richter ended up getting a curse stone, not telling her, and then in his investigation, he just goes out killing people, comes back and goes, all right, well, here's one full curse stone. That would be 2 mil, please. I was gonna bring somebody back, but you know what? Bring your kid back instead. It's more important. Okay, with that option on the table, let's figure out our strategy. Do you have a curse bearer with whom we can negotiate in mind? Not yet. Surprisingly, it seems the other curse bearers haven't been that proactive about collecting soul dregs. Did you see the news this morning? No, I haven't. Overnight, 3 mysterious deaths were reported in the area. They've yet to announce the identities of the bodies found, but they've been nicknamed the Hanjo serial killings. It's garnered quite some attention on the streets. Oh my. Only 3? That's what I thought. Even if the victims were curse bearers, just 1 or 2 wouldn't be enough soul dregs. And for what those cursed stones are capable of, a mere 3 victims seems quite low on the low side. With this little activity all through the night, the curse bearers must be a cautious bunch. What's holding them back? Are we not all after the power of resurrection? Well, it also doesn't help when one of the cops literally nabs 2 of them and is one of them himself. We're not all at the power of resurrection? There may still be some undiscovered victims, but it doesn't seem like anyone has gathered enough soul dregs yet. We might have to set up some bait to spur them into action. And then we offer them the deal? We may be surrounded by curses and death, but it matters little. My only concern is whether I can see my child again. One of the curse bearers seems very proactive. I wonder if the situation could be what the mastermind who kicked it all off intended.
How is that Now that's an interesting theory. You think there's someone behind this all?
You mentioned hearing an agonized voice telling you to kill when you first obtained the stone. It doesn't sound like a coincidence to me. Someone agitated the curses in this area on purpose, and they all likely after the rite of resurrection as well.
So you're thinking this person is not one of the curse bearers?
You got a sharp mind, ma'am. Though it might seem obvious for the mastermind to become a curse bearer and collect soul dregs if they were after the rite, this would be very risky, since as a curse bearer they themselves would become a target.
So it'd actually be more convenient for them if the curse bearers moved less aggressively.
That's right. But despite that, they have been inciting the curse bearers to commit murders. Why? Let's consider this. What if the mastermind isn't trying to collect soul dregs themselves?
You mean their intention was also to steal the souls while another curse bearers compete with each other from the start?
Sitting back and observing from the sidelines is the safer course of action, which is why I figured it's best for us to attempt the same strategy.
So, how should we do it?
There's still reason to suspect the mastermind could be a curse bearer themselves. We'll be honest, I want to keep my distance from whoever it is. There's no telling what kind of power I might possess. Whether our aim is to negotiate or steal, we have to outpace the mastermind in making contact with the other curse bearers.
How do you suppose we do so?
At this point, all we can do is search.
Okay, so right now, prediction for the ending would be she meets up with Tetsuo. There you go. She meets up with Tetsuo after he collects a bunch of these. And since he was part of the case in which her son died, he'd be like, you know what, fuck it, yeah. Use the soul dregs to bring your son back.
I learned something new about the criminal involved with the kidnapping. It concerns the serial killings. There was a body found at Komagata High School. The person was indicted as a school teacher. His name was Kohai Jonichi.
Huh? Do you think he was a curse bearer?
Not sure. It's possible. But regardless, this means two people who knew the truth about the kidnapping are both dead.
Just when we were getting somewhere.
This is enough to make me give up, of course. Still, we don't know anything about Michio Shirisashi's residence. It'd be wise to pay it a visit.
Understood. Okay, so it definitely feels like the janitor is Hajime. Or why do I keep fucking saying that? That's that name. That's not the fucking name. It's the school janitor is probably Najima. And his ability, he can probably kill everyone in the school if he wanted to. And that's what he means by it would be a high price. Or he can kill a lot in one go. It's probably because he can just get everyone in the school. If there's a mastermind inciting the curse bearers to collect soul dregs, can we be sure there even is a rite of resurrection?
Good question. The rite could be nothing but a myth fabricated to spur the curse bears into action. Seeing it might be for naught, do you want to give up, ma'am?
Huh? Never.
Understood. After all, we never know the truth unless we see it for ourselves. But we'll do it without using the curse ourselves. By the way, I met a few people who seemed like potential curse bearers last night. I did some investigating on all of them.
Yeah, one of those was us in an alternate reality.
But I only managed to get detailed information on two.
You're quick. I suppose that'd be expected from an investigator extraordinaire.
I appreciate the flattery. First, there's Ayame Tono, a girl who we talked to before, though she isn't a curse bearer herself. She's a student attending T University of Art. She currently lives alone in an apartment near Michidoro Park.
You even determined her address? You're not one to be underestimated, Mr. Investigator Extraordinaire.
I called every single university with ukiyo-e in the circulatorium. I called every single university with ukiyo-e in the curriculum, pretend to be your parent. I went around to check on her place on the way here. Doesn't seem like she's returned home last night. I'm worried she might have run into some trouble. Didn't you attempt to follow her last night? I'm embarrassed to say, but I couldn't. She shook me. I couldn't keep track of her. And here I thought you were an investigator extraordinaire. I'd like to learn more about her, but it would take some time. She is planning to steal the cursed stones just like us. It's best we act carefully around her. Next is the tall man who was dressed in black. I met him near Kinsinocho. He stood out the way he was dressed. I managed to get some good information from him. Impressive. What can I say? He works for the secretary of Hiyaku Soaps, chairwoman. I believe his name was Takumi Yumioka. The Hiyaku? Yeah. The Hiyaku Soaps headquarters and factories are both located in Hanjo, correct? Yes, they've been here for a while, but it's only in the past 10 years that the company has shown significant growth. I remember seeing the chairwoman on the news a few years back. She seemed to be very shrewd. With the increase in sales, I'd assume she'd want the factories running at full capacity. But with the harsh restrictions against industrial waste, a lot of the factories with older equipment had to be shut down. That's right. Even 10 years ago, there were many complaints about the chemical plant dumping waste into the river. Most companies back then were more concerned with making a profit than protecting the environment. Oh yeah, only back then. Definitely only back then. Not now. Not in the 70s. Never in the 70s. I wonder what a man working for such a company would have been up to in the middle of the night. On the way here, I stopped by the company's headquarters, but they hadn't started for the day. I should have better luck. Let's hope you will. Perhaps they're interested in seeing if the right would be beneficial for their product research into beauty and skincare? Ha! That's an interesting thought. I ran into one more suspicious young man last night. This one seemed to be out collecting soul drugs. Right? Indeed, I couldn't get a good look at him, though, and I couldn't gather enough intel to properly identify him. Well, that's a shame. But I can make an educated guess. Oh? You know that researcher who discovered in the ancient text in the Rite of Resurrection? The one that lives near here? His name is Hideki Arashi, and the man I met was very similar in stature. Oh my. Even he is involved. How awfully suspect. Considering his background, couldn't he be the one who initiated the whole affair? I think that's possible, yeah. Which is why I decided to refrain from making contact with him. For the time being, safety first. Understandable. Of course, I want to learn more, but this isn't the right time to focus on him. I prefer to ascertain who else is the curse bearer first. I prefer to ascertain who else is a curse bearer. First, I'll return to Hiyaku Soaps and see that man in black. The headquarters are down south of Warigesui Street. In addition to the 3 victims associated with the Hanjo serial killings, there's Michio Shirasashi, who reportedly committed suicide, and the police officer who died at the former Yasuda Gardens. If strange deaths continue occurring like so, they're bound to inspire strange rumors. But those last 2 have nothing to do with the 7 mysteries, no? That's true. Both occurred a week before this accursed situation began. Still, it can't be ruled out. I suppose that the mastermind was involved even with those killings. How? What if there was a preliminary steps to awaken the 7 mysteries curses? Can we really assume they'd be unrelated just because the timing doesn't match up? Or rather, the police officer's death is so baffling that it'd be easier if it were connected to the curses. The victim wasn't the type to be caught off guard easily. You seem to know a lot about this. I suppose we weren't strangers. my personal feelings might be wrapped up in this one too.
I see. If you were to investigate this matter more, you might get a lead on the mastermind.
You're right. If we wish to focus on the mastermind's identity, this would be a fine starting point. We might even discover more deaths related to the curses on our way. We should pay attention to today's news. Well, that's all I got to report. Should we continue on with our investigation? What do you want to do? You still can't use the curse stones. Taking a walk should be a fine place to start.
Right, let's go together. I want to see what's going on for myself.
In that case, I trust you decide on where we should go, ma'am. I trust you on where we should go, ma'am.
Where should I go to begin my search? Which places have stood out to me the most so far?
Mitchell Park, South Worcester Street, and the school. All right, to everybody to the school.
Here we are at Ground Zero, Komagata High School. I guess it's illogical that the police got this place shut down. The teacher's body was found here after all. As if the students have nowhere to go, and the school's closed. The news has attracted a bunch of curious onlookers, huh? That works in our favor. The more people around, the better we can blend on in.
Eat that in the fucking space. Why can't I eat that in the space? Bot could stay there then, because I can't delete it. Whatever. Yep. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be an extra delinquent added when we're just swapping around to a new character.
He appears to be wary of his police officers. Maybe the police really do have something against private investigators, just like the ones in those detective novels.
This place is said to be connected with the story of the Fool's Procession. I wouldn't be surprised if a curse bearer decided to turn up. However, I need to find out if that teacher was a curse bearer or not. I expect the police to be baffled since they don't know how about curses. I can ask around and see what the students have to say.
Inquire.
Alright, I'll go ask the students about Michio. I'm back, ma'am.
So, what did you learn?
That school kids sure love a good rumor. I was particularly drowning in stories about Mr. Jonichi and Michio, most of which seemed dubious at best.
Not surprising.
Most of what I heard was hardly worth a second thought, but there was one story that caught my attention.
Oh?
Some believe that Michio is the one who killed Mr. Jonichi.
Really?
The story's got two pieces of evidence to back it up. One of them wasn't news to me. Apparently he's been mumbling that Michio was going to kill him for some days now. A fellow teacher overheard his mumbling and told the students.
And then it spread like wildfire, I suppose? Rumors that juicy don't stay a secret for long.
As for the other piece of evidence, a pigtailed girl in a school uniform was seen around school late last night.
Go on.
Although numerous people claim to have seen the girl, not one of them saw her face. Some were proposing it was Michio brought back to life, or that it was her vengeful spirit. But it's not like Michio's the only high school girl to wear pigtails. This rumor might have been made up just to fan the flames.
Huh. But if it were true, I want to get a hold of her in order to hear her side of the kidnapping.
If she's alive, that'd be ideal. There's still one more thing I should mention. I discovered that where Michio lived. A student had a list of student addresses on hand.
That's an amazing find.
I believe all the students actually have a copy of the list. It truly worries me how easy it was to obtain what should be confidential information. Imagine what would have happened if the information got into the wrong hands.
Well, so far it hasn't, no?
Sure. Let's hope it stays that way. In the meantime, it's now possible for us to visit Michio Shirasashi's house.
Alright,
I imagine the students all hyped up with talk of murder. It may do them well to stay home for some time, if not the fear for their safety. The police are probably too wrapped up in solving the case to be concerned about the students' mental health.
I can see that. Michio's home. I'd expect her family might be able to tell us more, but it's a hard topic to bring up so soon after her suicide. However, it's normal for a high school girl to keep things hidden from her parents, especially if it involves criminal activity.
Alright, so now we go to the house right as the cops are there. Near the Shirasashi household.
How'd it go?
I went to visit Michio Shirasashi's family home. However, no one seemed to be there. I got no answer at the door and all lights are out. It seemed to have been empty for a while now. There was a stack of newspapers out front.
Huh. I don't understand why no one's come to this house, even after Michio committed suicide. I wonder if this place is okay.
It's a bit quiet over here. It's a residential area after all. All these run-down row houses really scream working class, don't they? Social connections run deep in the working class areas like this place, so I decided to talk to the locals. I met a few nice old ladies who were kind enough to give me the scoop. Turns out that Shirasashi's reputation really went down the dumps this past year.
Is that so?
I'll give it to you a quick summary. They moved here about 3 years ago. Their previous residence was a better part of town. Michio's father died in a car accident, leaving behind just the two of them. Michio's mom, Toshiko, now a single mother, relocated here. At first they got along with their neighbors, many of which were in the similar situations, helping and being helped in turn.
So far, so good. What happened?
Well, as I said, their reputation began to go downhill about a year ago. A man recognized as Toshiko's common-law husband had moved into the household. His name was apparently Kanshiro Iwai. Neighborhood gossip is something else. Somehow everyone knew his name.
So, what of this Iwai character?
He was apparently a vulgar fellow with a criminal record. He was prone to violent outbursts. The neighbors often heard screams and shouting coming from the home. The neighborhoods took particular notice of Toshiko's screams, pleading with him not to hit Michio.
That's terrible.
As if that wasn't unsettling enough, every night the neighbors also began to hear an eerie chanting. Though this, the Shirasashi stand in the neighborhood plummeted rapidly. Toshiko was often seen covered in bruises and wounds. She stopped responding to her neighbors. She would just turn all the other way when greeted. They kept their storm shutters closed even during the day and effectively shut themselves away from the entire community.
And even though the entire community knew, they didn't fucking say shit.
That sounds horrible. Why didn't the police step in and do something?
Unfortunately, under our current laws, the police aren't allowed to get involved with domestic disputes.
That's awful.
And then Michio reportedly killed herself. Things only got worse with Iwai, and Toshiko was admitted to the hospital for physical and mental abuse. Ever since, Iwai hasn't returned to the home. Many locals expressed sympathy for Michio's circumstances, but just as many were fed up with the Shirashashis entirely, and seemed relieved that things finally quieted down again. It seems that they were still concerned outsiders even after 3 years of living here.
Or considered outsiders.
I don't understand it. Why would Toshiko have gotten involved with such a brutish good-for-nothing in the first place?
I've heard many stories where one's partner's personality does a complete turn after entering a relationship. After her first husband's death, Toshiko's financial situation had also taken a turn for the worse. She was determined to send her daughter to a good high school if possible. She fell victim to sweet promises.
Life can be tough, I suppose.
You don't seem moved by the story, ma'am. That's fine. People have all kinds of stories. Konkichiro, yeah. Konkichiro Iwai. The common law husband of Michiro Shirasashi's mother, Toshiko Shirasashi. Konkichiro started coming around and going around the Shirasashi household a little over a year ago. It seems he had served some time in prison, but the details are unknown. But the Shirasashi certainly hadn't lucked out with theirs, bringing such a violent man into it.
The Shirasashis were dealt a tough hand. I can't imagine what it was like. Could it be the girl was forced by her circumstances to take part in the kidnappings? I never liked these messy, cluttered back streets. They give me the jitters every time. It's reassuring to have someone as strong and tall as Richter accompanying me. He looks so unfazed. I suppose a detective is used to this kind of thing, always investigating and chasing criminals. I wouldn't be cut out for it.
Except we're doing it right now. Ooh. Okay. Next spot. Hikaku Soap's headquarters were on the other side of South Borogasu Street. They were closed when I visited this morning, but it appears things are up and running now. I think a small soap-making company would grow so much in such a short time. They have factories and warehouses throughout the area now. You can see why the director and now chairwoman Natsue Yamamori is called the Queen. Oh, did I not click the button first? Okay. Mockingbirds we got. Illegal Eagle. Okay. Yeah, Head Hensho, the Ostracizer, Illegal Eagle, the Pelicanot, and Penelope Swoops. Hihaku, a chemical producer that ranks 4th largest in the domestic detergent market and 7th largest in the cosmetics market. From its humble beginnings as a small soap factory established after the war in 1946, founder Natsue Yamamori utilized her feminine perspective and a well-timed economic boom to boldly lead the company into new markets. Even as the market grew crowded with the industrialization of Sumida City, the company continued to expand, digging its roots deep into the area. In particular, it established itself as a household name by focusing on its branding towards the rapidly expanding convenience store market. Its flagship products now include cosmetics, detergent, soap, shampoo, and more. The company name, Hihaku, can also refer to kasuri, a type of patterned fabric. There you go, that's the personal interest. Natsue Yamamori. Natsue is the former president of Hihaku Soaps, a large chemicals company. Though she retired from her position 2 years ago, she still wields great influence over the company from her position of chairwoman. Recently, there have been rumors about her possessing strange and powerful magic abilities, earning her the nickname, the Witch of Hihaku. Prior to the war, Natsue enjoyed working her dream job as a textile factory. She was forced to face the bitter reality of the world, however, when the factory was destroyed by a fire during the war, and she was ordered to rework the fabric she had painstakingly crafted into something more suitable for blue-collar work. Witnessing the rise in popularity of Western-style clothing in the post-war period, Natsue left the textile industry. However, a nod to her past can still be seen in her company's name, with Hyaku being another name for kasuri, a type of fabric featuring patterns and images woven with dyed fibers. Having long been dissatisfied with the soap supplied at the textile factory, Natsue saw a business opportunity and set up her own small soap factory. Taking inspiration from imported soap brands, she developed new products which quickly gained a good reputation. Ever the shrewd businesswoman, Natsue ran an aggressive promotional campaign on TV featuring a popular Japanese singer, rapidly turning Hyaku soaps into a household name.
You mentioned that Takumi works as her secretary?
That's correct.
Do you think it's possible he's acting on her orders?
That's exactly my thinking. Cursed bearer with both money and power could certainly look at resurrection as their next prize. Negotiating with a person of that stature may prove difficult. Back in the Edo period, the canal known as Southward Gasui ran through this area, but it's been turned into a major road. It's a bit away from Kanjuro Station or Ryogoku Station though, so it's considered a nice area. The stories of the ever-burning lantern and the foot-washing mansion both took place around here. One of the bodies discovered this morning was found by this road as well.
This is quite a lively area, huh?
I suppose you could call it somewhat of a city center.
Waragesui, lit partitioning ditch, refers to a waterway dug down the middle of a road so as to divide it. At the dawn of the Edo period, the Hanjo district was little more than a collection of suburban rice farms. As the area became more developed, the South Waragesui was excavated in order to drain rainwater into the Yokujikan River to the east. Though it was served the people long and faithfully, it was converted into an underground culvert at the beginning of the Showa era. In the present, no trace of it remains on the surface of the street that bears its name.
He tells me he barely slept last night, and yet he seems to be brimming with energy. Was I too that resilient at his age? Perhaps it's what sets us apart as a detective from the rest.
First, I need to confirm whether Takumi is the man I ran into last night. Then I'll be able to determine if he's a curse bearer. It'll be better if I go inside the headquarters alone. You should walk around, visit a cafe or serve tea perhaps.
So an influential person at Hyaku Soaps is potentially a curse bearer. I propose we could use money to negotiate with the curse stones, but we could hardly outbid a large corporation if that came down to it.
I'll be better if I go in the headquarters alone. You should walk around, visit a cafe, okay?
Now, is there a walk around into a cafe button here? Or I don't think so. Just take a look to see if there is a delinquent. Nope, doesn't look like it. Midoricho Park.
Oh yeah, this is Midoricho Park. Ayame Tanto lives around here. She wasn't in her apartment when I dropped by this morning. I wonder if it's worth checking again. This place is connected with the story of the Taiko Tsusuguru. Not only that, Tatsushika Hakusai's home was also in this area. That might be why Ayame chose to live there.
Midoricho Park, a small park bordering South Waragesui Street, sporting a mixture of cherry and evergreen trees. Although unremarkable in most respects, its small playground always attracts a number of children to come to the evening. While no trace remains in the modern day, it stands on what was once the site of Suguru Estate. The legendary artist Katsushika Hosokai, also believed to have been born in the vicinity. Aha!
Oh, good going, ma'am. You found haiku. That's a rare one.
Is it now? Mockingbird number 7, haiku. Okay. I hope I haven't missed many. It's always heartwarming to see children playing in the park. It just seems to like kids. Perhaps because they're on the same wavelength?
We won't get much done standing around here. Why don't I go and check out Ayami's apartment?
You don't mean to speak with her, do you?
No, I have to get an idea of what she's been up to. I'd like to see whether she's been at home or not. Just to potentially get a trace on her movements.
Then be my guest.
Okay, I shouldn't be long. I'm back, ma'am.
So, nothing?
I'm afraid so. She still hasn't returned. However, I noticed a few people who seem to be related to the police force keeping watch in the area. I don't know if they got eyes on her apartment, but they do appear to be watching the building that's in.
Interesting. You've got a sharp eye to have noticed them despite being so covert.
What can I say? It's part of the job. However, it meant I had to refrain from knocking on her door or looking through her windows. I wasn't able to check her electric meter or mailbox either, unfortunately.
You were planning to go that far?
We won't make such progress sticking around here. Okay, we might be starting to hit dead ends.
What a waste of time. We should move on quickly.
Okay. Well, the only place that we really could do would be back here. No, not the house. To be to the soaps. Because he said he wanted to go in and we would do something else, but we haven't gone to do something else yet. The Hyaku Soaps headquarters on the other side of the Southward Guestry Street. Do I have to click on the building? I'm gonna go in. I may be a while, so feel free to find somewhere to kill time.
Okay, good luck in there.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Kept you waiting, huh?
I'll go fast forward to the conclusion I met with Takumi. There's no doubt he's the same man I saw last night. But it doesn't seem like he's a curse bearer. But that doesn't mean he has no connections with the current curses. He knew about the 7 mysteries. I even guess we have a curse stone of our own.
Excuse me.
I tried to approach Takumi about a fallen item after I ran him into him last night. However, you said your name was Richter, correct? I have a favor I'd like to ask you. I'm hoping you would hand over the curse stone in your possession. Curse stone? What are you on about? There's no need to play dumb with me. In fact, there's no time for it. I had all the same reason you did to think you were a curse bearer last night, and your arrival here only confirms that you are a curse bearer now. You're right. We lack time. I'll confess. I'm a curse bearer. I possess the cursed stone of the Haunting Clappus. I'm glad to hear the truth. Finally, this conversation is worthwhile. It is a dangerous item you hold. Give it to me. My company will take responsibility to dispose of it. I don't know whether the soap business specializes in scrubbing curses clean. It is the prerogative of Mrs. Yamamori. Is that so? Assuming you've obtained the curse, you understand the power it involves, no? Miss Yamamori possesses supernatural powers, akin to those of a god. She also has a deep love for this land, having transformed it from the pile of dirt it once was to the home of our headquarters. She cannot stomach the fact that it is now the site of these curses run rampant.
So, you're telling me the Queen of Hyaku is a real-life witch?
She wouldn't appreciate being called that, mind you. There's a sorcerer by the name of Yamyodo, who's gallantly working behind the scenes, exorcising spirits and the like.
Go on.
That being so, there have already been instances of the dead coming back to life. Do you understand the urgency of this matter? There are curses we're speaking of, tools which are used by wicked beings to possess people. The rite of resurrection is nothing but a fabrication meant to seduce the curse bearers into unspeakable action. If you truly understand what I'm talking about, you must hand over the curse stone at once.
Very interesting. With that said, just how many curse stones have you acquired so far? If what you told me is true, surely the company would have launched a large-scale search by now.
We have 6.
6? Whoa! I can rest at ease then. Anyway, I thought I was at risk of being cursed.
It seems we are on the same page. If that is the case, you should hand over your curse stone immediately.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's not actually in my possession at the moment. Considering its importance, I've been keeping an eye on it.
Really now? Then I'll accompany you while you retrieve it.
I'm sorry, but I got something important to attend to. But I promise I'll return with it later on.
Very well. Then you won't refuse to provide your address and phone number, I presume.
How prudent of you. I'll oblige. And that's how it went.
So they aren't out of the right after all?
I wouldn't be so quick to trust them.
Oh?
I believe we're dealing with a master in deception. He may well have made up the story to convince us to part ways with our stone. I think he was lying about having procured 6 stones as well. Like, really? 6? That's excessive.
Well, now I feel gullible.
The company is plotting something. I wonder what they mean to do with the curse stones. He seems rather desperate to get his hold of ours, despite us not having collected any soul dregs. Perhaps the people at Iyaku are the masterminds behind the curses being unleashed.
Because the chairwoman's a witch.
I wonder about that too. If she really were that powerful, would her secretary have divulged information so casually? Takumi was either making it up as he went or he's trying to spread a rumor.
For what purpose would he do that?
Recently, people have been caught up about the occult more than ever before. The word spread that Hyaku's chairwoman has godlike powers. She could very well benefit society and politically from that mystique.
Huh? That's unsettling. How interesting that the Queen of Hyaku, or the witch, whatever she is trying to get her hands on the rite of resurrection. It's like some kind of dark fairy tale. Regardless of what is or isn't true, we must stay on one step ahead.
By the way, there's one more thing of interest I heard while in the company's reception lobby.
And what's that?
People were discussing whether one of the bodies found this morning was that of Hyaku's employee.
Really?
So long as the officials haven't revealed the identity, it all amounts to no more than speculation though. Despite that, no reason to believe Hyaku Soaps is deeply involved with the 7 mysteries. At the very least, I can assure you I've gathered that much. The more we know, the better our negotiations will go.
Okay, that seems maxed out. Okay, now maybe that we've gotten that much looking at the high school. Because it kind of feels like I've hit everything up so far.
This is Komagata High School. Guess there haven't been many developments. It's important that society provides a safe environment for the benefit of our youth. Some school policies could use some rewriting, especially those handling the students' personal information. That's right. Didn't want a student being kidnapped on the way back home ever again. I expect criminals to grow more cunning as time passes. There may be times where the authorities can't keep up. That's where outlaws such as myself come in.
What's this all about?
Actually, just forget I said anything. It seems the officers are still inspecting the scene. Entry has been strictly prohibited.
Alright, well, we haven't been locked and told we can't progress any further.
All dressed up for school. In another world, I might have had the chance to see my son in uniform too.
Hey, this is Midorocho Park.
A waste of time.
Okay, so there doesn't seem to be anything else to click. So I wonder if I should suspend the area. There is no other place to go to, right? Yeah. And it's not telling me I'm completely locked. So where do I need to click on? The house?
I thought there's anyone still living here, huh? Oh, so you came here too.
What is it?
Okay, they did finally meet up with them. Could you repeat what you know about one more time for me, Richter? Okay, now we go back to the cop's perspective. Start at the Shirasashi household. Or maybe not. Yeah, I already found that one. I don't have to do that one again. No. I think that'd be funny if you choose to move before he comes back and you ditch him. Okay. So we're... Oh, okay. So we were supposed to... We did all this already. Wait, it wants me to suspend again? No. Why would it want me to suspend? We should be running into them. Wait, really? I guess we have to pick up with the school kids then?
And so they decided the next. Okay. Okay, no. All right. So the only. This is odd. I don't think it wants us to solve the branching path here, so it has to be the cops. Yeah, I wonder if there's anything to help us scout out the area. That's us trying to find. We already had it. And it comes back, tells him what he knows. And then it goes to suspend. All right, so then what path? The only thing I could think of is I don't know. What other path? Do we go back to the private eye and don't have him talk to the kids for more information? I don't know why this one says suspend. The other one just ended. Like, this is the only one that seems like this should be the next. Yeah, I don't. What does the game want? Okay, I guess not. And we already did this one. There is no branching path. It's just on to the next one that's not open yet. And this doesn't go anywhere. Like, this left off where we then meet up with him. This feels like that's where this should pick up. But it's not. I don't know. I guess what I'll do is... I guess I'm just gonna save here then. See if I can find out what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. Alright, I'll be back again in tomorrow. Since Dastardly Dave is not doing, has finished his Halloween streams for now, I'll be back at normal time at 7 p.m. tomorrow, and I will be beginning Hollow Body, which is like a sci-fi type of Silent Hill, I think, something like that. Like a Silent Hill, but in like a supernatural sci-fi future. So we'll give it a look. It should only be about 2 streams worth of game. So I'll start it on Tuesday and then probably finish it Thursday night. Unless I feel good enough after the 2 raids on Wednesday to do it. So maybe early on Wednesday I'll do Cultic, since I think that's almost done as well. But Hollow Body should only be about 2 streams unless I do it all in one massive go. So don't worry. I am super invested and interested in this story, and I also like having one that I can just kind of sit here and read.
since I do like doing the voices. So I will, even if it goes throughout November, I'm going to keep playing and finishing this. This game is not going anywhere. This is going to be my fun thing where I can kind of do even late at night and enjoy the story as it unfolds. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll be back again tomorrow starting Hollow Body, which will be the true finale spooky season game, even though we really haven't done that many spooky games this year. But don't worry, more will be coming, and especially more of this. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.